Okay, happy engineer. Today we're talking about networking. Everybody's favorite topic, right? What engineer doesn't love a good social networking event? Just kidding, just kidding. I know from having talked to thousands of engineers that networking comes with a pretty negative connotation on average. And today I want to give you the one most simple and powerful question that you can use in your networking from today forward in literally any situation that is not only going to help break the ice and make the conversation flow better, but it also will help you accomplish one of the most important principles of networking that's going to accelerate the results that you get from those relationships down the road. Now, before I give you the question, let me set the stage of why this is so important. I was working with a group of engineering leaders not that long ago, and a gentleman named Scott asked me the question. We were talking about networking, and he said, "Hey, Zach, how do you actually accomplish this idea of leading with generosity in networking in a group where you don't know anybody? You're just walking into an open environment, lots of new people. Maybe you're at a conference. Maybe it's an event at a company picnic and you're meeting someone new." He's like, "How do you actually do that?" And it's a really important question, and it's related to this first priority and principle of networking, to lead with generosity. Networking is about leading with generosity. Okay, we're building this relationship bank account, and our first action in a new relationship, we always want to be making a deposit, not making a withdrawal. And so Scott asked a really important question. Well, how do you do this in these different contexts? And before I give you the question, I think it's important for you to buy into that principle. And a big part of why engineers don't like networking is because when you hear that word, be honest, what are the first things that come to mind? Networking. Well, most people, it's things like, oh, it's selfish, it's sleazy, it's salesy. It's something that people do who just want to accelerate their career through connections and nepotism, or these really negative things that often come up. Or maybe that's not you, but the fact is you're probably thinking, oh, it's uncomfortable, it's not fun, I don't like to do it, I know I should, but it's not something I'm good at. Fill in the blank, right? I'm an introvert, I'm shy. Seriously, do I have to do this? Okay, I get it. And that used to be me, by the way. I totally understand how you feel about that. But the truth is, people is one of the non-negotiable pillars of our success in our career, and you need to be proactive and intentional about networking. And when you wrap your head and heart around this mindset that networking is about generosity, network is about leading with giving, it makes it so much more fun. It makes it so much more a spirit of curiosity, that all I'm here to do is give to others and ask interesting questions, get to know people, put that engineer hat on that's deeply curious. And when you can do that, it makes it so much easier. Now, here's the question. There's lots of tactics on how to open up the conversation. We're not going to cover those today. If you need help with that, reach out. We can support you. We're not going to cover the 100 things you could do. We're going to give you the one. There's also tactics and strategies that you need on how to finish the conversation to set you up for success in the future. We're not going to cover that today either. One thing, it's the meat and potatoes of what question will open up any conversation for you and accomplish leading with generosity. This is the same answer I gave Scott when we were in that group session supporting engineering leaders on their career growth, and here it is. What do you need the most help with? What do you need the most help with? Now, you could put a variant on that, be more specific. What do you need the most help with on the project? What do you need the most help with in your career? What do you need the most help with at the conference? Okay, so if you want to put a qualifier, you can. You could also put a time qualifier. What do you need the most help with right now? What do you need the most help with these days? Or both. What do you need the most help with on the project right now? So you can modify this, but the simple structure of the question is, what do you need the most help with? Now, let me highlight a really important distinction about the way the question is phrased. The question is not, how can I help you? All right, did you hear the difference? What do you need the most help with? Not, how can I help you? And here's why it's important. When you ask someone, how can I help you? Two different things are happening there, and neither one of them supports you in the conversation right out of the gate, especially in an open networking with new people environment. First of all, they have to make an assessment of your capability to help them. And if they don't know you yet, how are they going to answer that? Right? If they don't know your capabilities, if they don't know what you have to offer, it's very difficult to say how you specifically can help me. So that's a more difficult question to answer, and most of the time people will say, I don't know, or thanks for offering, but I'm good, and that kind of dies on the vine. The other thing is, from your perspective, if you go around a networking event asking everybody, how can I help you? Well, this is unlikely to happen, but what if every single person said, oh, well, thanks for offering. I need your help with this. Oh, really appreciate you asking. Could you do this for me? and you walk out of that networking event with a laundry list of to-dos. Well, you might accidentally overcommit yourself to things that right now are not your priority. And so you want to be really careful to leave a buffer between discovering what help they need and you actually volunteering yourself to be the one who gives the help. This gives you a chance to decide if you're the person who can do it and when that is something that you could do. I hope that makes sense. We really want to be careful on how we structure the question. It's super intentional in the syntax. What do you need the most help with? Now, here's why it is generous. Very few people are asked this question, especially by someone who they don't know well in a networking context. By the way, you can use this with a mentor, even if you've been working with that mentor for a year or 2 years or 10 years. You can use it with colleagues. You can use it with your boss. This question is super powerful. But when you go in and ask that question, very few people have ever been asked that before. If it's not something where you're already expected to be helping them. All right, so it feels generous simply because very few people will ask. It's also generous because it's a fruitful question to help them think about the answer, right? The answer matters. And most people don't have a great discipline of getting clarity on what they need the most help with because most people will not ask for help. Okay, maybe that's you, by the way. There's a little sidebar. If you're one of those people who's unwilling or never asks for help, that's another podcast episode we need to do. Successful leaders ask for help. We'll talk more about that another time. So it feels generous in that way. And then the final piece is that it opens the door, if you get a good answer, to where you can provide resources. That resource could be yourself solving the problem for them. If that's something you can do and want to do, great, go for it. Maybe it's a connection to someone else in your network. Maybe it's a connection to a book or a podcast that helps them out with what they need. Maybe you have nothing to offer, but you can say, well, if anything crosses my radar or if I hear anything that could support you, I'll definitely send it your way. I'm not sure how to help you with that right now. It is a really powerful structure to add value and keep the conversation going in a new networking context. What do you need the most help with? So here's your homework. I want you to go experiment with this question today. When you interact with someone on a project team, maybe it's at the water cooler or the coffee pot, you go out to lunch and you're sitting with some friends, I want you to ask someone today, hey, by the way, what do you need the most help with? And see how that opens up in the conversation. See how they respond. All right, I think you're going to find most people still will not have an answer off the top of their heads, but it opens the door, and then you can get curious, and guess what? Here's the worst case scenario. If you ask someone, what do you need the most help with? And the answer is, well, you know what? Right now, everything's pretty good. I can't think of anything, but thanks for asking. Cool. The conversation can continue as it would have otherwise. You've made a deposit of generosity. I promise you that in their mind, in their subconscious, they're feeling goodwill toward you if you're asking from a place of authenticity and generosity. So you've accomplished making that deposit, and there's nothing bad that comes from it. And then on the plus side, there's so much upside potential to where this one powerful question can take you. I literally use this, whether I'm meeting someone like Lewis Howes, who has one of the biggest podcasts on the planet, asking him, what do you need the most help with? All the way to that college graduate who just started their career, who's reaching out to Oasis of Courage for coaching support to say, hey, what do you need the most help with at this stage of your career? It works in every context, so go test and experiment with that today. People matter. Making deposits and leading with generosity in your networking matters, and if you'll use this one question, it's going to support you to have bigger results, bigger impact, and a better reputation in your networking. All right, I hope this helps. Really quick, before I let you go for today, if you are looking for support in your career, I just wanted to share a couple things that are in the show notes that you could take advantage of. If it serves you, go check these out. For one, we have our ebook in there, 49 tips that are simple and actionable just like this one. Go grab that. Put one into practice every week. I promise you it will help you accelerate your career. Here's the deal. It's the same advice your grandma gave you, but the truth is the difference between average and success in your goals is that successful engineering leaders know the things that they should do and do them, and average engineering leaders know the things they should do but don't do it. So go check out the ebook. It's got a lot of great tips in there. Second thing is you can join our free monthly workshop. It's called Happy Hour. Happy engineers, join us at Happy Hour. So register. We'd love to see you there. I bring really deep insights straight from our coaching programs to support you, as well as doing open coaching at Happy Hour. So come check that out. And then third, if you really want to take this concept of people and networking and expand across all the systems, strategies, and tools that it takes, the mindsets, the action plans that it takes to put rocket fuel in your career, or to recover from burnout, if you're extremely unhappy right now, then apply for our coaching programs. We'd love to support you if that's what you need. All right, get out there. Go ask the question today. Don't wait. Don't wait for your next happy hour event where you're meeting new people. Just do it today. What do you need the most help with? Let's do this.